So I've noticed that a lot of people want to hear about how to raise the mast. I have a 26M, so it might be different from boat to boat, but since I'm putting the mast up, I thought maybe I'll videotape that and show you guys how I do it. There's, I'm sure, more than one way to do it, so this is just going to be my way to do it. But hopefully it helps someone. This might not be the video for those of you who've had your Mac for many years. You might pick up a trick or something in there, but maybe not. But when I was shopping for mine, or when I just recently bought mine, I wish I could have found a video just to as simple as raising the mast. So I'll try to do that for you guys, all right? So before I start, maybe it's worth mentioning how I trailer it. Right now it's just my first time this spring, so it's not exactly in trailer mode, but you'll get the idea. Of course, it's tied at the front end on the pulpit. I have all my lines, halyard, topping lift, lazy jack, any line that has to be up on the mast before it raises are tied to it with some small bungee cord. And many people, they have the spreaders attached here, and they would run under the lifeline here. And after doing that for quite a while, I've figured out that it's easier to tie them on the mast like that, just because it's hard to take them out from under the lifeline. You have to swivel or switch around from one side to the other, and that if you're in the water especially, that makes the boat very unstable, because I have to bring that mast all the way that way, bring a spreader out, then the other way. Of course, if I could change my lifeline to having some quick disconnect, like a pelican hook maybe or something, that would help. But right now I found that this helps a lot. It also helps to walk on the deck when the mast is down. And yeah, that's just my way of doing it. Many ways to do the same thing, I'm sure. And so before, of course, it's also in the cradle at the end. And I just installed a new solar, so everything is here. I have the foil, the headstay. I just changed my headstay for new hardware. And last year I changed the side stays. So of course, everything that's going to be too high to reach, I untie, and soon enough we'll be raising the mast. One of the things I forgot to mention is this piece of PVC I cut to shape the mast, and I use that when I'm trailering. It's usually tied down with some bungees, but that really helps a lot. The spring that you get in the mast, it doesn't bounce around at all when I have this under it, and it really helps while trailering, so you don't damage anything. So it's time to walk the mast to the midship, and I replaced everything I could find that was called quick something, quick pin, quick disconnect, quick whatever, and I just replaced them all, because when you set up every time, it makes everything easier. So to walk it forward, I'll just put that in my pocket. You have to hold the mast and the roller, the foil, in your hands, and walk everything backward. And usually something snags somewhere, but we'll see how that goes. I just go slow, so if there is a snag, I could see it and fix it. I got this boot made here to protect, not just to protect the roller, but especially to protect my deck from the damage the roller could do. So this is gonna snag. I'll put that there. There we go, almost there. There you go. So the base of the mast goes here. I'll put that same pin that was in the front. The pin goes here. So this pin is of course as strong as the bolt that was with the boat. Those pins come from Blue Water Yacht, and they just make everything a lot faster. The second pin, exactly the same, holds your mast raising system. If you don't have one of those, I don't know what to tell you, because I've never done it without it. It's very easy with the winch raising system. So the system goes here, and the mast goes on the stern, towards the stern pin. And then it's just a matter of attaching all this to the mast. There you go. Alright, so this is a brake winch. It doesn't work the same way as a winch you have on your trailer, because it's essentially a brake that prevents it from unrolling, and it clicks one way, but there's no pin to play around and nothing, it's just a brake. So that goes here. I'll go this way. There you go. And the end of this here just ties on the front cleat. There you go. And now all I have to do is put the baby stays on. And these guys, they go on the mast, same place. And they will prevent the lateral movement of the mast while it's coming up, because the stays for the mast are not really doing anything until it's fully up. So this keeps it from going side to side while you're raising it. So they just attach here. There you go. Important note on this side here is, I often forget this, you have to go under the roller, the foil, and it's a bit of a tight squeeze to reach it, which is normal. And usually I raise it when the Genoa is going to be on this with the sock and everything, so it's much bigger, and it's a pain in the butt if you forget to put that under. Now the other thing I discovered is, instead of holding my roller in my hand and trying to balance everything, I just take it out of this here. This was just so I don't scratch my deck, and I tie it to this this winch rope here, and that rope is just going to slide down as I raise everything. So I just clip that here, there, and that prevents it from sliding on deck, scratching my windows or the deck or whatever. And it also frees up my hands, so I could just start raising it. So this should be good to go. Let's just see if I have any. Oh no, it's not good to go. Now it's time to put the spreaders back on, so let's do that. So obviously I'm a bit rusty, first time of the year, but almost forgot to put the spreader on. I thought I was ready to raise the mast. There we go. All right. So I guess the important part about the fact that I'm removing those spreaders is to make sure I don't induce any twist, like do a full 360 of these here, because that would screw up the way they're tied to the top of the mast or the bottom of the chain plate. And I have yet to find some quick connect for these here, but it's not too bad. Right. So under the foil. And of course you put small details, but you put the bolt facing up and the nut below, so if ever you had a nut fall off, it's not supposed to, but if ever it did, gravity would help the bolt stay in place. Here we go. Now I know from last year, every time I would raise it, this would snag under the solar panel. And I just installed this year a bigger solar panel. But I'm also going to be concerned and be careful about my new wind vane. A lot of projects I did this year, so a lot of stuff is new for me, and I want to make sure I don't damage anything. So now I think we're ready. Let's go slow. If something snags, we'll just go back down. So this just winches up, tension is here on the front cleat, and when you're doing this on the water, the mast will sway left and right, sometimes quite a bit, and you try to direct it by just pulling on this winch, on this pole, just so it stays a bit center. You can see one of my baby stay is doing its job, the other one is loose, and that's normal because there is a bit of play. And hopefully now this will start to come down. And sometimes I have to give it a bit of help. Maybe a pulley would help. There you go. Now I see that I put an extra line here to, it's a messenger line I put to raise my Genoa once it's up, so I don't want that on behind the spreader. As I said, there's always something snagging somewhere, but eventually it always works. I might have to bring it down a bit. Okay, here we go. Now at this point, what I do is check for these guys. You see, this one was about to bend. So they often do a bit of a snag here too. And you have to make sure you don't keep pulling, because you'll feel just a bit of resistance, but that piece is gonna bite the bullet. There you go. And these have to be, very often I have to swing them around. That little 1/4 inch difference here will prevent everything from going up smoothly. There you go. Let's check the other side. Yeah. Okay, that should do it. It's rare that I do this solo. Obviously, having 2 people helps a lot. And if I was on the water, I couldn't be going left and right like that without everything swaying big time. So being in my driveway helps a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna check the stays on each side. They seem good, so I'll keep applying some pressure. And as you can see now, the baby stays are not holding anything because it's now the stays, the regular stay, that are doing their job, and everything seems fine. So now it's time to attach the roller to the front chain plate, and I always give that a bit of a tug to make sure it's all the way to the front, which usually helps me not having to pull so hard. So, all right. I forgot that I have some new safety pins that I want to use here, so I'll go grab that. This ring ding here, because it's a pain in the butt to put on and off, especially in the tight space between the 2 anchor rollers. And I bought these here, which should make it easier to put on once I get there. So we'll try that. So when I put this on, I just make sure it doesn't really matter, this could roll, but I want the line to be on the correct side. And it's always a bit of a tug war to put that down there. You see, I can get it, but it's hard to hold at the same time. So I'll give the crank a little bit of more pull. But I like that it's nice and snug. You hold all the head stay that I had was not tight enough. I guess it had some fatigue, and I think this one will be a lot better. So there's always a little something every year, and I noticed this is bent a little bit, and it's making it really hard to put the pin in. So I'll just put that back in place, into shape. Hopefully with this it's gonna work. So I switched position because it was getting tough from up on deck. But obviously sometimes I'm gonna have to do that from the deck, but right now I'll just do it from here because I'm on the trailer. Pin is here again, and let's see if that new ring ding makes a difference. Yeah. Oop. That's why when you're on the water you lose so many stuff like that. There you go. So it's all attached now, and basically the mast is up, and I guess I'd be ready to put the boom on, the mainsail, and the Genoa, and set everything up to then bring it back down for transport. But for now, for this video, that's gonna be it. It's safe now to take the pressure off of this, and now I always make sure that everything works correctly before I take everything off. But you see I have my mast rotation, and the side stay don't hold a thing. Those stays are doing their job. And then of course it's time to take the winch system down. I could remove these baby stays, and basically the whole system like this. Alright, and what I've done, because I often bring this raising system with me on the water, because we like to set up and take it down when we are at the beach somewhere. So we leave dock in like 15 minutes, a quick setup time just to be in the water, and then we go to the closest beach and relax and have fun, release the dogs on the beach, and then we set up everything there, where it's a lot more relaxed than at the boat ramp. So I had my friend do this bag to put the winch system in, so it doesn't damage anything in the boat. I guess you could just put I thought about this after, could have just purchased a gun case or something like that, and that would have been a lot cheaper. But I like this one for sure. Oops, I should put this back so I don't look for it next time. So I just put everything in that bag, which is quite heavy duty for resistance. There you go. So once everything is in there, I know that the next time I use it, I won't be looking for parts, and also it won't scratch anything. That's it for this video, guys. Hope it helped, and if you're into it, or if you're interested, I will try to find time to make another video about the rest of the setup, putting the boom on, the mainsail, and raising the Genoa on that track. But for me, I just do that once a year in the spring and take it down in the fall. Some people have a hank on, this is a roller, so I just do it once and I don't change the sail all summer long. So that would be for our next video. Hope this was helpful, and we'll chat soon. All right, cheers. Feel free to react or give any tricks that you want to share.